What did you say to me? What did you call me? Who are we kidding? Now, we all know I'm not a fighter. Oops. I might be a wrestler, but I would never join a riot. Fortunately, there are other crossdressers out there who would and who would not hesitate to do so in defense of their rights. And when, unsavory, psychopathic, and downright hateful individuals attempt to hurt their rights and to humiliate them, they won't hesitate to resort to the good old-fashioned 1-2, or to pick up a bat and defend their rights when push comes to shove. During the early hours of July 28, 1969, 4 police officers, 2 men and a woman, walked through the doors of the Stonewall Inn in Greenwich Village, New York City, and proclaimed, "Police, we are taking the place." During such raids, police officers would line up the patrons of the bar of the establishment and ask them for identification. The women, the female police officers, would take those perceived as female to the bathroom, and in the ultimate act of humiliation, they would check their genitalia to see whether they were indeed men or women. And if they were found to be male, then they were arrested as crossdressers or transgender members of the LGBT community. The Stonewall Inn was, interestingly, a mafia-run place. The Genovese family had control of the locale, and they sold alcohol there, even though they didn't have a license for it, obviously. And apparently, the place didn't even have running water. The waiters and the staff would just simply rinse the used glasses in tubs of water and just reuse them straight away, serving up new drinks for their customers. So that was the state of affairs at the Stonewall Inn on July 28, 1969, when police decided to arrest a few more members of the LGBT community there. On that fateful night, however, the plans of the police would be upended. There were around 200 people in the bar, and they lined them all up, but unlike at other times, the parties concerned refused to cooperate. The men did not produce identification, and those perceived as women refused to go to the bathroom with the female officers. As the police inappropriately frisked the woman, tempers began to flare. Those who were escorted outside the establishment and let go refused to leave the premises, and they hung around. Some more people, seeing the commotion, those living in the area, they joined them soon, and pretty soon the crowds in front of the mafia-led establishment swelled. As the police officers let out another female suspect, so to speak, and they began roughhousing her, the crowd decided to take action. They started pelting the police with coins at first in a sort of mock attempt to pay them off. Somebody shouted that the owners of the establishment had failed to pay off the police, so they decided to do so directly. But pretty soon they started adding bricks to their ammo, and bottles, garbage cans and garbage followed. The police soon found themselves barricaded inside the establishment and inside the bar, the Stonewall Inn, and desperately calling for reinforcements. The crowd outside, meanwhile, ripped a parking meter out of its spot and began using it as a battering ram to break down the door. Others attempted to set fire to the establishment with the police officers inside. As police reinforcements arrived to rescue their trapped colleagues, the crowd grew ever more determined and hostile. A chorus line was formed and in front of the police, so the police phalanx was facing down a chorus line of crossdressers, transvestites, and various other members of the LGBT community. Crossdressers fiercely fought police, according to eyewitness accounts. "This has to stop," said one of the protesters, coining one of the mottos of that historic night. As the violence began to spread around the neighborhood, members of the mob joined in and overturned cars down the street to block the streets and to hinder police access. The following day, the violence started anew. Residents of the area, including artists and whomever else thought it worth their while to join the protests, joined in, and pretty soon the movement developed into one of the greatest and most remarkable LGBTQ rights movements of the 1900s. LGBT historians attribute great significance to the Stonewall riots, although they do not all agree on whether its effects were positive or negative over the long run. They did, in fact, involve some gruesome violence, which obviously sort of muddled the whole cause, but at the end of the day, it marked one of the first times when the LGBT community said that they had had enough of police harassment and that they were ready to stand up for their rights, even at the cost of inflicting violence upon the authorities, the police representing the authorities. What I personally find interesting about the Stonewall riots is the involvement of organized crime. Now, the mob was never particularly fond of the LGBT people, as far as I know, and in this instance, however, they were obviously making money off of them, so yeah, they probably knew where their interests lied in that particular case. In the aftermath of the riots, there were calls of getting the LGBT establishment out of the hands of the mob and making sure that members of the community would, in fact, run such establishments in the future. What do you think of the significance of the Stonewall riots? Were they, did they have a positive impact on LGBT history in general, on LGBT rights, and the LGBT rights movements that followed over the following decades? Or were they a sort of a footnote in a darker chapter of the overall picture? Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for today's video. Let me know please what you think of the Stonewall riots, and you don't be afraid to use the comments, and subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. And yeah, on my part, well, you know, being a crossdresser all in my life, I still would not be able to use a pen against another human being. So let's toss that out again, and yeah, so you know the drill. If you like me, if you like my channel, and if you like this dress, this ensemble that I'm wearing right now, this is my all red, my first true all red ensemble. I've been waiting to get this one going for a while. I didn't have the gloves for it, but I ordered some online, and they arrived last week. So yeah, that's pretty much an all red everything outfit. Now all I would need to do is to get a red wig to match the whole look, but yeah, might do that someday as well. So if you guys like me and like my outfit here, let me give you a better look at it. As usual, a twirl. Somebody mentioned in a comment, one of my past videos, that I don't do enough twirls, so you don't see my outfit. Well, there you go. And yeah, well, as I said, that's it for today, and if you liked the video, subscribe to my channel, share my videos, don't be afraid to do that, and ring that bell down there so you get notified every time I upload something new. Also check out my shorts, I do post them sometimes as well. The good news is that apparently I'll be able to get myself a cameraman in the near future, so yeah, hopefully that will represent a sort of qualitative jump for my channel. So yeah, there's that as well lined up. So there are plenty to be excited about, and yeah, join me on other social media channels as well if you are as excited about all this as I am. I have a TikTok channel, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook. Look me up, just run a search on me and you will find me. Well, see you around guys. Hasta luego!